Look at the stats. 5 out of the top 6 televised rated games on the WNBA this year all involve Caitlin Clark. The only one that doesn't was a second half of a doubleheader in which Caitlin Clark played the first game.
Only on SportsGrid.
8 playoff games at home for Boston in Beantown. They are 6-2 straight up.
The wild card, I would say, in this game is not necessarily, well, what are we going to get out of Luka Doncic, Kyrie Irving, Brown, and certainly Tatum. It is Kristaps Porzingis to me, because we're not getting back a player that's like, hey, rotational guy. Like, remember when Derek Lively went down with an injury? He was playing well, but a young player, like a piece.
The early line. Only on SportsGrid.
Garrett Cole is getting ready to come back, too. I guess this... Look, they've played great without him, but you're not going to say to Garrett Cole, look, don't come back. I mean, it's a ridiculous conversation to have.
They're not going to take any unnecessary chances. And look, they're at the point where they have a lead. They certainly are going to make the playoffs, I would say, barring some sort of complete collapse. And that's all it takes.
Newswire. Only on SportsGrid.
If you're in the room, what are you doing with the Judge MVP number? Books are now 2-1, standalone favorite. What are you doing with the Judge number?
What do I do with the MVP? I let them bet Judge at what? Even money? Come on in. I mean, you have to acknowledge now that he's the guy.
Game time decisions. Only on SportsGrid.
Ferrall has taken over. Let's go. It's Ferrall. Coast to coast. Steaks, chicks, stacks. You and I are going to make a lot of money. It's Ferrall. Coast to coast.
Back in Vegas, just like we ought to be on SportsGrid. Everything's better on SportsGrid. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid. Get the SportsGrid app. It's free on iOS or Android. Follow your favorite hosts like Carver High and get all the action, stories, news, highlights, videos, in-game odds. It's got it all. The SportsGrid app. It's phenomenal. Have I told you about BetMGM's Swing for the Fences? It's a game. You're going to love it. Win a bunch of daily prizes. You get your shot at it every day of the week. Play as a batter and pick an area of the strike zone. Get a single, double, triple, home run, or fly out. You can play it once a day. Account holders who play Swing for the Fences are going to have a chance to win rewards like parlay boost tokens, odds boost tokens, single game parlay boost tokens, bonus spins in eligible casino states, and even bonus bets. All rewards expire within 24 hours max to use your rewards. Carver High wins constantly. And by the way, Mafia has played multiple times. Now, I think it's like 7 straight days, and he's donuts, over. He has not won anything. And Carver High, every time you play, you win. I don't know. He hasn't figured it out, obviously. And then again, he does have a late flight tonight.
I've gotten everything except a homer. I will say I haven't gotten a home run yet. That is not.
That's coming tonight.
Those are rare, but I've gotten singles, doubles, triples. I've gotten all 3 of those a couple of times, but I've not been able to secure that home run yet. All right, I want to go through a bunch of stuff with you while I have you. I know I have you for limited time today. First of all, let me just keep you updated on the Open. A double bogey for Cantlay drops him back to 4 under, Scotty. So he's now at 4 under, along with DeChambeau and Dietrich and Matthew Pavon. Ludwig Aubert, 6 under and 2 shots clear of everybody else right now. What we need from old Ludwig, Scotty, is come back to the pack. How about a bogey or 2? Stay with everybody else.
Yeah.
We don't want that guy surging out ahead of everybody. That's for sure. So that's what, and still scoreless at Wrigley. As they're in the 7th. Bagels all around for the Cardinals and the Cubbies. 3-0 Germany leads Scotland in that opening Euro game across the pond.
It gets worse by the minute. Your scoring updates get worse by the minute.
Here is, let me give you this from last night. Of course, we briefly mentioned both of the championship series are on the verge of sweeps. First time since 1996 that both the NBA and the Stanley Cup Finals have started 3-0 and could end up with the sweep. And maybe Aubert, here's a bogey for him, Scotty. There's a bogey for Aubert, just as I say that. How about that?
All of a
Let's
sudden.
go.
All of a
Bring him
sudden.
back to the pack. Bring him back. Panthers
How about
beat the
another
Oilers
one?
last night 4-3. They lead the series 3-0. Here is a couple in one package for you. First, Barkov scores to make it 4-1, and Bobrovsky is a wall at the end to finish it on Panthers radio.
Barkov to Rodriguez. Barkov in front, a lone shot, and he scores! Barkov makes it 4-1 Panthers with 4:29 to go in the second. The captain streaks in alone, and the Panthers lead by a trio. Right-sided, dropped off for McLeod. In front, McDavid, a chance left circle, walks in, tried to dance on over front. Oh, save by Bobrovsky and McLeod with the left pad. He keeps the Panthers up one. McLeod right at the top of the goal crease was set up by McDavid, and Sergei Bobrovsky coming up with one of his best saves of the night here in the late stages.
Wow, it's amazing to me, Carver High, that Barkov, right? Like, this guy gets his bell rung in game 2? And you thought he was, frankly, concussed and wondered if he'd play. And yet, here he is again, being this star two-way player that can play, but he can bring it. He reminds me, and not speed-wise, but talent-wise, with Paul Coffey, one of the assistants, of course, with the Oilers. Remember, back in the day, Coffey would bring it end-to-end faster than anybody in the NHL. He was the, if you will, McDavid at the time when he played with the Oilers and when he played with the Penguins and won Stanley Cups. Barkov, to me, is that guy. Carries the lumber, brings it up ice, can score, can knock you on your ass at the other end, can stop, can block shots, can do everything. And there he is playing all banged up and still has a goal. And I got to tell you, our buddy Goldie on ice and Randy Moeller, they're going to get their rings. It's a done deal. They're going to win their first Stanley Cup. Come hell or high water, they're winning this series.
I am with you there. Obviously, they are going to win this series right now. If I have to pick one for you, let's give you Connor. Since we have had fun with Connor McDavid, and after tomorrow night, we're not going to have any more fun because the Oilers are going to be finished.
We're done with him.
Here's McDavid on the Oilers being down 0-3.
What's the most disappointing thing is being down 3, obviously. Yeah.
The fact that you had part of that game in control and just kind of gave them a few goals and just some unforced errors.
Yeah, I felt like that. I thought we had lots of looks. I thought the game was right there. And, just a couple of mistakes, and they found a way to score.
When it started to come for you, and the goals started to come, what do you think you guys maybe got to?
He's got that playoff beard going. He's
We
got
put a lot of
neck
pucks there.
beard.
I thought we did a good job of getting pucks to the net and bodies to the net.
Razor out because that's about to be gone.
You can't score on the outside on these guys. You got to get to the middle.
Sunday morning shave coming for him. That's for sure.
It's crazy to me that it really is crazy to me that, frankly, he's done nothing, and also he's not going to hoist the Stanley Cup. And I got to be honest with you, Mike. Guys are famous for saying, "Don't worry, we'll be back," and then sometimes that never comes to fruition. I have said to you repeatedly on this show together that until he wins the Stanley Cup, I'm sorry, he is not the greatest player in the world that everybody says he is. I know that's a negative thing to say, and it's harsh. I don't deny his talent and his speed, but like I said before to you, and you know this, did Mike Bossy not win a bunch of Stanley Cups? Did the best players in the world that have ever played in the NHL, they all won the Stanley Cup, A to Z. Every single great player that ever played in this league, literally, there's how many guys on one hand can you count that didn't get a cup that should have got one? Now, I know we heard Morency say Marcel Dion one day. I thought Marcel was a great player. I never thought he was one of the best players in the world. I just think that this guy, without a Stanley Cup, to me, is just not wearing underwear.
Look, when you talk about the best of the best, the absolute all-time elite players,
right?
I guess Dion is like the closest you could get. I mean, you look at the list, Dale Howard, Chuck, Matt Sundin, those are not guys on the level.
No one cares about them.
Those guys are not on the level of Connor McDavid. They are not on
Fair enough.
the level that this guy has been put on. And no goals and 3 assists in 3 games in this Stanley Cup final. That ain't good enough. That ain't enough.
I mean, is that not unthinkable to you? Is that not? When did you see? Listen, I saw Mario Lemieux have 6-point nights in the Stanley Cup Finals. This guy has no goals. What?
And look,
he's the best player in the world. He has no goals. I'm sorry. The Panthers have shut him the F down.
And his running mate is even worse because he's a bagel on both. No goals, no assists for Draisaitl. So
he's Casper.
He's also
Casper, the friendly ghost.
He has not been there either. And look, you also got to give credit to Florida here because that's how good they are defensively. They have completely demolished these guys and swallowed them up. They have done nothing in this series. And Florida's
does that not amaze you, Mike? Does it not amaze you that they have been this dominant?
Yeah, I thought Florida would win the series. I didn't think that they would completely lock them up and throw away the key. I didn't think that it would be this bad. And that's precisely what they've done. And they'll probably end it tomorrow night in Edmonton, and they'll probably sweep them. That'll be it. Shut the door. Send them home.
It is. I can't even watch it. It's so awful.
Panthers minus 2.5 games, plus 330. Panthers 2+ goals in every game, plus 225.
It's going to take a monumental effort for them not to get 2 goals in a game. It's going to take what Bobrovsky did last night. It's going to take Skinner to do in Edmonton. They're not going to do it in Florida.
Game time decisions. Only on SportsGrid.
8 playoff games at home for Boston in Beantown. They are 6-2 straight up.
The wild card, I would say, in this game is not necessarily, well, what are we going to get out of Luka Doncic, Kyrie Irving, Brown, and certainly Tatum. It is Kristaps Porzingis to me because we're not getting back a player that's like, hey, rotational guy. Like, remember when Derek Lively went down with an injury? He was playing well, but a young player, like a piece.
The early line. Only on SportsGrid.
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on SportsGrid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York team has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
Garrett Cole's getting ready to come back too. I guess this. Look, they've played great without him, but you're not going to say to Garrett Cole, "Look, don't come back." I mean, it's a ridiculous conversation to have.
They're not going to take any unnecessary chances. And look, they're at the point where they have a lead. They certainly are going to make the playoffs, I would say, barring some sort of complete collapse. And that's all it takes.
Newswire. Only on SportsGrid.
I just wanted to say that my son is still passed out in the room in the dark, and I'm working. There's got to be something wrong with that scenario. Look who it is. The legendary Hall of Fame publicist extraordinaire, my man Fred Sternberg, a living legend as a publicist and in boxing. Are you kidding me? You just showed me that Hall of Fame ring, and I want to show everyone this thing. Like, you can really look at it. Now that is literally You know what it is? It's so much nicer than the Kansas City Chiefs Super Bowl rings that they gave out yesterday at some event with Mahomes and his wife and everybody else complaining. That is fantastic, Fred. Now, listen.
Yeah.
All honesty, congratulations a million times over that you got into the Hall of Fame. What was it like?
It was extraordinary. Jim Lampley came up with his wife, and I had some family and friends. It's like 4 days of nonstop fun. And when they put you in this parade and a convertible and everything, I was just glad it wasn't a Pinto.
Did you ever think you'd be in a parade, Fred?
No. And I went to Syracuse University, which is nearby.
Which is highly unfortunate. Indiana beat them in '87 for the national championship, down 13 with 3 minutes to go. Bob Knight, way better coach than Jim Boeheim. But other than that, I hope you had a great time up there in the snow.
They brought Otto the Orange in to escort my car for the whole parade.
I hate that stupid orange.
He's a Hall of Famer.
And all those Newhouse kids are getting way too many jobs. I don't know what it is about those people up there.
I'm a Newhouser.
It's in the water or something. Fred, honestly, when you think of your career and how many fights and the publicity you've done and the publicity you've given fighters and how many different legends, does it blow your mind?
It does. I can't believe it seems like yesterday I started all this stuff. And, I've thought about it.
And then we got old.
Yeah, 39 years ago, I was doing the Leonard Hagler press conference in Bethesda, Maryland.
They don't make them like that anymore.
Biggest thing I ever saw in my life, and I thought, if this is boxing, this is for me. They're not all like that.
No.
A lot of club shows.
Yeah, boy, did that just absolutely ding the bell. A lot of club shows. There are a lot of club shows.
I did a lot of them.
No, honestly, but the big ones are really cool.
Oh. I'm trying to think. I did.
How many years have you seen me doing this? Close to.
Since the late 50s. You're on your third set of teeth.
Did you hear what he said?
Don't bust a stitch.
Hold on, Fred, I'm fat. Hold on, Fred. Tied to this chair.
Oh, my God.
Carver High and I drink and eat too much. Anyway, so literally, no, it's got to be 25, 30 years.
Yeah, absolutely. And, I used to see you. We both be in line getting credentials.
Do you remember when I was skinny? Do you have any of those photos? I need a new PR photo, Fred.
Well, we'll airbrush with it. Do they still do airbrushing? We'll do that.
I know they do fake bodies. They have a chick with a beautiful face, and then they put a fake body on her.
I could use a fake body.
I got to tell you,
anybody.
I got to tell you, it really upsets me when they do the old chicks and fat chicks. I'm just being honest. I'm a horrible person on the Sports Illustrated swimsuit, and Mavi is just shaking his head right now in disgust that I just said that. It really bothers me. I want to look at Gayle King in a bikini. Honestly, can I just watch her on TV with Oprah? Do I have to see her half naked? That's like me doing a photo shoot for, what was it, Playgirl? Remember when that magazine was out?
I'm just watching my career go down the drain as
my lawyer's shaking his head. He's like, I do not know him at all. I found one of those in my mom's dresser one day when I was a kid.
Oh,
and I was like, this is... with a fold out. Are we live right now? Carver High's back there going, call the red phone. We got a problem. So, what do you think of this fight?
This fight, great.
So I've said to, I even said it to Jim. You heard me. I said, I think Tank's been a really accessible kid since he came up, because once they get huge and famous and make a lot of money, they turn into D's.
Yes.
And I've never seen him do that yet.
Yeah.
He's still a relatively cool cat. He's got a sharper tongue.
Yeah. Got a great personality.
Yeah.
And, I think if you strike the right note with any fighter, if they're interested, they'll talk to you and they'll give you a great story. I think Benavidez is a terrific fighter.
He's awesome.
Jeez. I mean, he's the future. I think.
Yeah, I'm scared of him. Do you think that legitimately that Canelo doesn't want to fight him because he's going to lose to him?
I don't know. He's fought everybody, so it may come down to economics.
It's just a money thing.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. It's a business decision.
What did you think when boxing died after COVID, and we didn't do this anymore for 4 years.
It was hard.
It's the first time I've been back here. And you know that Bruce blamed me for COVID. He said that on Thursday.
Was that before or after the Gayle King comment?
No, it was before. First he said I was fat, had a mohawk, and then he said my eyes were bloodshot, and then he said I caused COVID.
Well, nothing gets past Bruce.
I mean, honestly. Meanwhile, he's perfect body, no body fat. Looks good in a blazer.
Whatever.
Still has hair, teeth.
Oh, my God. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I have to buy all of that now.
So how hard is it to be a publicist these days in this sport? When you see, like, a lot of people think the UFC passed it and it doesn't matter anymore. I thought the Usyk fight was great.
Yeah.
I think this is a great card. They need to give the public what they want. Yes. Good fights. I don't want to see this. Spence and Crawford, it took 5 years. By the time they fought, I didn't care anymore,
right.
Fred.
Well, that's the problem. And, I think the one thing Saudi Arabia has showed us is if you cough up the money, you're going to get the fight.
Right.
You've taken away the excuses. So, competition's great for any kind of business, including boxing, but I think there is a doorway to keep this sport relevant.
Is it true that you did your Hall of Fame speech without any written paperwork in front of you? You just did the whole thing off the cuff, right off the top of the head?
Well, I had the speech, and then I looked at it and I thought, I can't put these people through this, so I just...
He drank 2 martinis before he went on the stage in Canastota.
And the audience drank 4 afterwards.
And then he had 6 more with Ricky Hatton at dinner.
Hatton did his whole nightclub act. It was great.
I believe that. That's that club show you were talking about. I saw him in some great fights, and I saw him in some bad fights. Fred, I love you. It's always good to see you, my man.
Great.
Congratulations.
Now, if you're watching this fight, ppv.com, you can get Jim Lampley on.
Panthers minus 2.5 games, plus 330. Panthers 2+ goals in every game, plus 225.
It's going to take a monumental effort for them not to get 2 goals in a game. It's going to take what Bobrovsky did last night. It's going to take Skinner to do in Edmonton. They're not going to do it in Florida.
Game time decisions. Only on SportsGrid.
8 playoff games at home for Boston in Beantown. They are 6-2 straight up.
The wild card, I would say, in this game is not necessarily, well, what are we going to get out of Luka Doncic, Kyrie Irving, Brown, and certainly Tatum. It is Kristaps Porzingis to me, because we're not getting back a player that's like, hey, rotational guy. Like, remember when Derek Lively went down with an injury? He was playing well, but a young player, like a piece.
The early line. Only on SportsGrid.
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on SportsGrid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
Garrett Cole's getting ready to come back too. I guess this. Look, they've played great without him, but you're not going to say to Garrett Cole, "Look, don't come back." I mean, it's a ridiculous conversation to have.
They're not going to take any unnecessary chances. And look, they're at the point where they have a lead. They certainly are going to make the playoffs, I would say, barring some sort of complete collapse. And that's all it takes.
Newswire. Only on SportsGrid.
So yesterday, Carver High, here's what happened. I had, I'm dog leashed to this chair, and I can't move. I can't get up. I can't. When I do pictures with people, I have to just sit in the chair because I have multiple chains on my ears and on my head and going into my rear backside. And I mean that respectfully. In the back of me, I got all these lines tied to me, so I can't go anywhere. So I'm trying to do the show, and I noticed that I couldn't move, and I had phones and wallets and everything in my pockets, and I was literally dying. And I said to Mafia, "You've got to take my wallet. Take my wallet and just keep it over with you, and then I'll get it when the show's over." So the show ends. I go up to the room. I change. I go to the pool to meet my friends, and then I come back to go to the Dead show, and it's like 6 o'clock, and the concert's at 7. It's 6:15. I'm getting in the shower. I get out at 6:30. I get ready to leave, and I'm dressed, and I'm going out the door, and I'm like, oh, my God, my wallet. I forgot my wallet. Oh, no, I've left my wallet at the media center. The next thing I know, I have to call Mafia, and Mafia has the wallet. But Mafia was at the Top Golf. He's out there jacking drivers and 7-irons at the Top Golf at the MGM, which is literally, it seems like it's at the MGM, but it's actually closer to McCarran Airport. It's so far from the main hotel. And I go, I need my wallet, bro. I'm going to the concert. I gotta have my money. And here comes Mafia running through the MGM and through the district. Here he comes by the pool. Here he comes around the corner. He comes to the fountain. He's soaking wet, sweating, and I'm standing there. And it was my fault. I had left the wallet, and Mafia was drenched because it's 120 degrees here. And he left his golf bag and all his balls and all of his game at the Top Golf, and had to run and bring me my wallet back. And then I went to party, and he was very upset, and he punched me in the face, right in the lip.
Yeah, that's the hardest part about that place is that everything, it's awesome, but everything is far. That's the one thing. Like, I'm assuming they have you in those rooms right now behind the food area there. Like when you walk past all those food joints, they got you in those ballrooms back there by the pool. Is that where they got you tucked in this time?
Yes.
Yeah, and like you said, and then you talk about getting to that Top Golf. That's like walking to Reno if you're in Nevada. I mean, that's how far you go.
Do you remember when we did the full 300 bottle and can beer haul from valet to the room that was 7 miles away?
Yeah, that was a long distance, and I know where you're going later to meet Cole. We went there once. That's like walking to Los Angeles. It's Reno going to Top Golf. It's like walking to LA where you're going to go meet Cole later. That's not
and
fun.
I got a blown out knee.
Let's close the book on this because you're going to start the NBA with Coach, and I'll finish it with you later. But the Oilers are actually favored tomorrow night. They're minus $1.20. Panthers are even money. The total's 5.5. It went over for the first time in this series last night. I say they finish them, Scotty. This thing's over. There'll be no more NBA or NHL when we come back on Monday. They'll both be over.
Well, let me just be quick here. I'm just letting you roll with this. I'm done with it. F with it however way you want. A la Bob Knight. I'm done. I'm done with the crappy NHL Stanley Cup Finals and all their excitement for Game 4. There is no excitement. I'm going to the fights, and I am not watching that crappy series anymore. I watched last night, and in 5 minutes it was 4-1. I'm done with it. F with it however way you want. You're right. I have no say in the matter because the season to me is over. I think it's been the worst Stanley Cup Final I can remember because one team kicked the other team's ass so bad it wasn't fun watching it.
Wasn't fun at all. It's been a tough final here on both ends of it. You'll start to talk about the Celtics and the Mavs. Hopefully that one ends tonight too, down in Dallas.
I don't know which one's worse, Mike.
Probably at least the hockey games have been kind of close. The 3 games in Florida they've been close games. The basketball really hasn't been.
Well, aren't all Stanley Cup playoff games close, and then one team wins by a goal or overtime? It's simple. The basketball has sucked. The hockey has sucked as well.
Look at the stats. 5 out of the top 6 televised rated games on the WNBA this year all involve Caitlin Clark. The only one that doesn't was a second half of a doubleheader in which Caitlin Clark played the first game.
Only on SportsGrid.
You're going a little deep bomb hunting here. We don't care that we have the one heavy favorite with Rory, a couple other guys like Fleetwood and Tagala, etc. You're going to go a little deeper down the board.
This course, I think, is going to play a little bit more to the wedges. They have, what they did is they've renovated it to basically block off some of the bombing alleys for these guys. They've narrowed the fairways.
Ferrall Coast to Coast. Only on SportsGrid.
Garrett Cole's getting ready to come back too. I guess this. Look, they've played great without him, but you're not going to say to Garrett Cole, "Look, don't come back." I mean, it's a ridiculous conversation to have.
They're not going to take any unnecessary chances. And look, they're at the point where they have a lead. They certainly are going to make the playoffs, I would say, barring some sort of complete collapse. And that's all it takes.
Newswire. Only on SportsGrid.
8 playoff games at home for Boston in Beantown. They are 6-2 straight up.
The wild card, I would say, in this game is not necessarily, well, what are we going to get out of Luka Doncic, Kyrie Irving, Brown, and certainly Tatum. It is Kristaps Porzingis to me, because we're not getting back a player that's like, hey, rotational guy. Like, remember when Derek Lively went down with an injury? He was playing well, but a young player, like a piece.
The early line. Only on SportsGrid. The brighter the lights, the bigger the stakes. Hunt or be hunted. Know your prey. This is a whole new jungle. This is The Lion's Share. Brought to you by BetMGM.
All right, back at the MGM Grand. Our thanks to the MGM Resorts International for having us here this week to do broadcasts on SportsGrid, SiriusXM Channel 159, Sports Byline, all of our affiliates, all of our streaming networks, everywhere we're on. It's great to have you with us on this pain-free Friday from Sin City. Don't forget about the BetMGM First Bet 1500. You know this is simple. Download the app on iOS or Android. Get involved with the BetMGM mobile app, and you can make a bet up to $1,500. And if that bet loses, when the bet is settled and the wager is settled, you lose? Wrong. You win. They're going to give you $1,500 back in bonus bets the minute that wager is settled. You're going to love it. Check it out at BetMGM.com. And don't forget to download the BetMGM mobile app. You won't regret it. You'll love it. All right, Coach Young is with us, James Young from Monmouth County down the shore where it's jumping in the summertime. Everybody's partying at the Stone Pony and along the beach. And, my man, you have to be, listen, I'm not even going to be nice here anymore. This is the worst basketball final I can remember, literally in my life. Like, I'm not kidding. I have never been. And no disrespect to the Celtics. They're a fantastic basketball team. They move the ball. They play both ends. They steal the ball, play D, swat shots. Transition game with numbers. They do it all. They do it well. They deserve it. They're going to get their banner. But I have never seen anything in my life worse than this series. It is terrible. It is boring. It is awful. It has ruined my life. You and I love basketball more than anyone on earth, and I am not enjoying 1 second of it. And I told Carver High earlier, I'm done with the hockey too. I'm done with this NBA. You can have it. I'm not interested. I want all of your bets to hit. I want your lion's share picks to hit for all of our audience and viewers and listeners. I want you to get everything right. But I got to tell you, I'm done with it. I am done watching the Mavericks bend over and lube up on KY Jelly Month at the OK Corral. I've had enough.
Ferrall, I'll be honest with you. The whole playoffs have stunk. I mean, take away, ready? Knicks Sixers. Take away Knicks Pacers. Take away Dallas, Minnesota. Denver and Minnesota, and then take away
That was
probably OKC and Dallas. Like, we haven't had really good series anywhere in this NBA Finals.
No.
Or this whole NBA playoffs. So it is my hope that we get a better game tonight. Listen, at the end of the day, we know what it is. Luke and Kyrie have to be fantastic. They have to outplay Tatum and Brown. And then on the flip side, you got to hope that the rest of the guys from Dallas, the Lively's, the Gaffords, the Washingtons, Hardaway Juniors, the Joneses, have to be close enough to the rest of the guys of Boston if they're going to have a chance. Simple as that.
You know what? Like, that's just not happening because they have been. It gets worse by the game. It gets worse by the game. I watched the game, and then it only got worse by the minute. You got one guy, the superstar, player, Fatso, fouls out, and he, is screaming and yelling and blaming the refs for all of his problems and all the problems all over the world, wars in different countries, everything. And he's just, to me, he's fried. He is so fried, it's not even funny. And your boy, Kyrie, had a great game, and they still lost. He had a great game, and they still lost. It doesn't matter what they do, bro. Brown and Tatum are rocking them and taking their girlfriends.
Well, I think it's also the fact that, Ferrall, you know this, in a modern-day NBA, there's two things you have to do really well. You have to shoot the ball well from three, and you have to defend the three-point line. And all three games, Boston has outscored Dallas by 20-plus points at the three-point line. You can't be down 20 points at the three and expect to make up games. So it's not about the shots you take. It's the amount of shots you make. And if you make enough and have that much of a disparity of 27 points in game number 3, Ferrall, you're not beating a team when you're down by almost 30 points at the three. Shoot the ball from three, defend it better, you have your better chance to win.
I got to tell you that, I talked to you, yesterday, whatever it was, and I told you that you had to work with those two fascists on Saturday and Sunday in Kaufman, the Boston Strangler, and then, of course, Foster's Lager. He might as well be Boston's Lager because you got to deal with those two Celtic homerized milquetoast. And then I have to tell you, I'm actually now, I don't feel sorry for you anymore. I'm just happy for me that I don't have to do it. Even though I love you, I don't have to do it Saturday and Sunday so that I don't have to talk about this crappy series anymore. I can go see the fights, and I can sit with your boy Jim Lampley, and I don't have to think about how crappy it's been or listen to those two femmes talk about the Celtics and shove it in my face because I'm going to start punching somebody like Bill Laimbeer over here.
Well, listen, first off, shout out to the GOAT, Jim Lampley. I told you I met Jim Lampley a long time ago at a Kelly Pavlik fight. Shout out to the GOAT. What a great fighter he was. So to me,
the Ghost, Youngstown's finest.
Youngstown's finest. Shout out to my guy Pat Lynch. Always used to give me fight tickets.
I was at that fight, and you didn't even know me. You're like, who's that gravelly voiced white boy over there? Shut him up.
And Larry Merchant. Oh my God, God bless his soul. But to me,
he was great.
Ferrall, just because I have to listen to those communists over the weekend, folks, my first play, ready? Dallas on the money line. Why? Number one, I don't want to listen to those two. I don't want to deal with those two. I need them to sweat that. Listen, folks, I don't think Boston's going to win Dallas is going to win the series. But I think Dallas could win tonight. Mavs find a way. I'm taking Mavs on the money line tonight, Ferrall.
You know, the best thing that I have heard about Boston in the last, let's just say, decade, because I hate all their teams, just hugely hate them, is that Bill Belichick is, I'm hearing he's dating a 24-year-old cheerleader. Now, that is exciting news. He's way older than me, and if he's dating a 24-year-old cheerleader, I'm all for it. Honestly. Oh, ex-cheerleader. I don't know. Who cares if she's an ex-cheerleader? She's 24. Listen, that's what I need, Coach. I need a 24-year-old hottie in my life. What are your other Lions shares before my wife shoots me with a 12-gauge?
Well, you know what I need? You know who's going to be winning? Kyrie. but not the points. Kyrie Irving over 8.5
here we go.
rebounds plus assists. Folks, I know. Coach, what are you doing? He's missed it in all 3 games. He's missed it 6 out of the last 8 games versus Boston. But if I'm Boston, I'm not letting Kyrie and Luka beat us. I got to make other guys beat us. Kyrie finds a way over 8.5 rebounds plus assists. And Ferrall, it's plus money.
Listen to this guy. You are tripping, bro. I mean, honestly, like, I cannot believe, in all honesty, that you have faith in these bums. They are burnt toast, and there is nothing worse than burnt toast. Is there anything worse than one side of the toast is good and the other side's burnt? It's just a ruined breakfast. What's your last play? You're going back to the well with this guy. Oh, my God.
Ferrall, it's all about which side you put the butter on the toast. You put it on the right side, it's going to work. P.J. Washington over 6.5 rebounds, over 4 straight.
You're a liar.
Over 5 out of the last 6. Over 6 out of the last 7 games versus Boston. P.J. That's my DJ. P.J. Washington over 6.5 rebounds tonight.
Take that hot girlfriend of yours and go for a walk on the beach. You're tripping, bro. I'm worried about you. There's something wrong with you. And tell those 2 femmes I don't like them this weekend when I'm out at the fights in Vegas. I tell them I hate both of their guts. Coach, great stuff on the Lion's Share. I love you. Have a good weekend. I'll see you again next week on Coast to Coast, brother man.
See you, brother.
The Lion's Share, presented by BetMGM.
Look at the stats. 5 out of the top 6 televised rated games on the WNBA this year all involve Caitlin Clark. The only one that doesn't was a second half of a doubleheader in which Caitlin Clark played the first game.
Only on SportsGrid.
8 playoff games at home for Boston in Beantown. They are 6-2 straight up.
The wild card, I would say, in this game is not necessarily, well, what are we going to get out of Luka Doncic, Kyrie Irving, Brown, and certainly Tatum. It is Kristaps Porzingis to me, because we're not getting back a player that's like, hey, rotational guy. Like, remember when Derek Lively went down with an injury? He was playing well, but a young player, like a piece.
The early line. Only on SportsGrid.
Garrett Cole's getting ready to come back too. I guess this. Look, they've played great without him, but you're not going to say to Garrett Cole, "Look, don't come back." I mean, it's a ridiculous conversation to have.
They're not going to take any unnecessary chances. And look, they're at the point where they have a lead. They certainly are going to make the playoffs, I would say, barring some sort of complete collapse. And that's all it takes.
Newswire. Only on SportsGrid.
If you're in the room, what are you doing with the Judge MVP number? Books are now 2-1, standalone favorite. What are you doing with the Judge number?
What do I do with the MVP? I let them bet Judge at what? Even money? Come on in. I mean, you have to acknowledge now that he's the guy.
Game time decisions. Only on SportsGrid.
This is always Carver High's favorite segment when it's time for our State of the Bruce. Bruce Binkow, the head of Premier Boxing, and, of course, the PBC on Prime, pay-per-view Saturday night, Tank against Frank, plus the monster David Benavidez fighting. An unbelievable card of great fights that we'll talk about momentarily. But first of all, Bruce, always good to see you. It's always good to have the State of the Bruce. Couple things we've already established on the show is that the first thing you said to me when I saw you after not seeing you in 4 years was, you're fat and you have a mohawk. The second thing he said to me in day 2 was, your eyes are very bloodshot. The third thing he said to me was that I caused COVID. And the reason why I haven't been here in 4 years was because I started the pandemic.
Do you remember? Can you tell me it was in this building, the last great super spreader event before the country shut down? Who was fighting?
Pull that up closer to you.
Who was fighting in the room on the night? It was February 20th, 2020.
I couldn't fathom to remember what fight it was.
It was, if I'm remembering correctly, it was Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder.
That's right, because that's strange that you would say that, because I went to that fight. I went to 2 of the 3, 2 of the 3 fights. I went to the one.
Well, first one was at Staples.
At Staples in L.A., and I went there, and then I remember it vividly. The first one in L.A., the press conference was outside.
Correct.
And then the second one was here, and he came in to the ring like dressed as a king or something on a chair.
Yeah.
Like,
oh, no, that was Fury was on
and
a
then
chair.
Wilder came in with the 400-pound outfit on, and then blamed his loss on being the heavy outfit he wore into the ring. It was embarrassing.
Well, I mean, it was
and then did you see him?
Excuse as far as excuse.
Oh, please. I mean, honestly. Then, did you see the Asian dude knock him out of the career? His career's over.
No, it was his second loss in a row. But my point being is that we put so many people in this building. They were sitting 2 to a chair, and then that was it. After that week, they shut the whole country.
Do you think
everybody left Vegas from that fight and spread the virus?
What damage did it do to boxing?
I mean, it was one of our biggest fights ever. It was
but after that,
well, it shut everything down. So we had
no
to wait
fans, no media.
We did a half a year of fanless fights.
So when you did the list of who would we invite, and then media-wise to the pandemic fights, the first name he crossed off the list was Ferrall.
Wait! I have to say one thing. This fight tomorrow night marks the 100th. Championship fight at the MGM Grand Garden
in 30 years.
And the first thing that came up in our strategy session was we got to have Ferrall.
We got to have Ferrall here.
I mean, 100 fights. You got to.
I almost fell over because I hadn't done a fight in 4 years, and I've done so many fights of the 100 championship fights here.
Yeah.
I'd say 75% of them I've been at because of you.
Yeah.
And my dear friend Bruce Binkow here is the reason why I've been in boxing as long as I have been. And it means something to me. Like, I love being here. I care about you. I care about this. I care about the sport. It bothers me when it gets, passed over, looked over, and it shouldn't, because I think it's a great sport. It always has been. And what they need is, it's simple, great fights. Give people great fights. Give people what they want. Can you believe that these 2 megastars joined at the hip for this fight card when most of the time, back in the day, you get one guy, he wouldn't even let the guy in the room with him, let alone share a bill.
That's right. And I think it's a great sign for the sport. You know, we have a great star like Tank Davis. You know, he's a great draw. He's a great personality.
Right.
Great fighter. And he's excited to share the card with David Benavidez, another top name in the sport. I mean, a guy that nobody wants to fight.
So what about that Russell family? So I interviewed the 2 of them.
How about Gary Antoine Russell?
I mean,
kid, just in case anybody wants to know, or you're on the fence about tuning in tomorrow night, 17-0 with 17 knockouts. That's called a perfect.
And he's the last one, they call him.
Yeah, they're all named Gary.
I asked him, what is it like to have 6 Garys and you're called the last one? Is that like having a sister that can beat you up?
Yeah.
And then the other guy started cussing on my show, and then my boss goes, just let him cuss. I'm like, okay. Started calling people names yesterday. I really liked him.
Oh, their brother Gary?
Yeah, Gary. He had his June 19th belt, and he was like,
he's a tough.
I had a blast with him.
Too.
What are your other favorite fights on this card?
Well, first of all, the opener on the pay-per-view, this Carlos Adames guy is a real. I mean, he's just a phenom. I mean, this kid is one of the fastest, hardest punching fighters that you're ever going to see. Gary Antoine Russell is a must-see. 17-0, 17 knockouts. But really, honestly, to be able to see David Benavidez move up to light heavyweight.
Moving up.
I mean, he's moving up in weight. And everybody's saying, well, what about Canelo and Canelo? This kid is the biggest example of a throwback fighter.
Savage.
I'll fight anybody, anywhere, at any weight, for any money. Name it, put it in front of me, and I'll fight.
And he's got rabid fans.
And he's a terrific guy. He's a great father, great husband, but he's ferocious in the ring. They call him the Mexican Monster.
I know.
Yeah.
He lives in Phoenix, right?
Well, he lives in Seattle. He's from Phoenix. So
Mafia doesn't root for him because Mafia and I got diarrhea in Phoenix at the Super Bowl. We got food poisoning.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Together? You guys were
together? He vomited on the street on all fours, and I laughed at him. And 2 hours later, it hit me. And he called my room and he goes, "How's everything?" Because he had already shot it out, and mine started at like midnight.
I see.
So I want to ask you, Charlie.
You're
now
you're gonna root for Bostic.
Well, he does, but he likes Ukrainians.
Yeah.
I'm rooting for the monster. Charlie, a PhD now from BU. He's like Howard Stern, a BU Terrier.
Charlie Binko, my son, just recently was granted a PhD from Boston University.
Can you believe that?
A professor.
I remember when I thought he was stupid. I couldn't believe what he turned into. He passed you a long time ago.
Meantime, here are the two of us are with kids, grown kids.
How many grandkids now, Bruce?
I got, let's see, 6.
And he's only 39 years old. His kids started having kids when they were 17.
I'll tell you one thing is that my kids didn't get into the boxing business, but there's 3 boys, young boys, 7, 5, and 3, and they all love to fight. So we bring them all out.
They all fight in the kitchen at Bruce's house.
Right.
The state of the Bruce. Bruce, I love you. Thank you for having us.
Thank you for being here. It wouldn't be the same without you. See you all tomorrow night.
Panthers minus 2.5 games, plus 330. Panthers 2+ goals in every game, plus 225.
It's going to take a monumental effort for them not to get 2 goals in a game. It's going to take what Bobrovsky did last night. It's going to take Skinner to do in Edmonton. They're not going to do it in Florida.
Game time decisions. Only on SportsGrid.
8 playoff games at home for Boston in Beantown. They are 6-2 straight up.
The wild card, I would say, in this game is not necessarily, well, what are we going to get out of Luka Doncic, Kyrie Irving, Brown, and certainly Tatum. It is Kristaps Porzingis to me because we're not getting back a player that's like, hey, rotational guy. Like, remember when Derek Lively went down with an injury? He was playing well, but a young player, like a piece.
The early line. Only on SportsGrid.
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on SportsGrid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
Garrett Cole's getting ready to come back too. I guess look, they've played great without him, but you're not going to say to Garrett Cole, look, don't come back. I mean, it's a ridiculous conversation to have.
They're not going to take any unnecessary chances. And look, they're at the point where they have a lead. They certainly are going to make the playoffs, I would say, barring some sort of complete collapse. And that's all it takes.
Newswire. Only on SportsGrid.
All right, back at the MGM Grand. Don't forget, tomorrow on Prime pay-per-view, Frank is trying to take on Tank. Good luck with that. And then your boy, the Monster's fighting. And a great undercard. You heard it all. We're going to see Gary, the last one. Our boy Russell, see if he can go to 18-0. He's another badass. But my man Blair, the Flair Cobbs right here. So, Blair, it's good to see you fresh off of beating Adrian Broner's ass, I think like a week ago, Friday, something like that. So I knew him for a while when he was running around here telling people, about billions and all the rest, and he had his whole act going. It was great and everything. And he came on with me one day, and he goes, we did an interview on TV, and he said at the end, he goes, touch of gray, sense. He said, what do they call it, Mafia? What's it called? Touch of gray or just for men? He goes, just for men, son. Get some of that touch of gray, man. Son, get some just for gray, son. That's what he said to me, and I was like, what the F is he talking about? He's like, bro, you're old, you're ugly, you got gray hair. So now I'm older, uglier, less hair, but I have a mohawk going, and you got to admit it is a little pimping for an old dude that I'm pimping the mo.
Yeah, it's working for you, baby. It's working for you.
So what was great about your fight with him was that I've been putting up with that guy cracking jokes about me and talking S about me, Shaq I like to call it, for years. And then to finally see someone knock his teeth out of his mouth was the best thing that happened to me in the entire month. For like the last 30 days, my favorite thing that's happened on earth, there's a lot of things, kids being born, families there, people getting paid, some guy over here getting a new girlfriend, guy got a new car and everything. I'm like, no, Blair the Flair knocking Broner's teeth out of his mouth was the favorite thing I've seen in the last month. I'm not even lying to you. I'm sick and tired of his ass. Cracking jokes about me, making fun of me. I would have wished I was there knocking his teeth out. How did it feel? You beat his ass.
It feels good. It feels good to walk it like I talk it. So, I said it in the build up that I was going to knock a tooth out. I said in the build up that I was going to whoop his ass, and it wasn't going to take long for him to find out. And that's just what happened. It was a great experience being in there with a legend like Adrian Broner, and what can I say? It was a dream come true.
Yeah, you ended his legend. Like, you ended him. You know what's great about that, and I respectfully, I mean, it's like it put you on the map. Like, for me, that made you, like, you matter now. You're jumping right into the fray. You're here at this big event, and people want to talk to you, and it's because you put on that show. And you look really good, bro. I don't know what you're doing, where you're working, who you're working with. How did you get to this point where you walked in there and got it done like that and said, I'm here, and I know you see me. We all saw it. It was great.
Absolutely. Well, I had a tremendous training camp. I had a tremendous trainers to help me and build me as a professional fighter inside and outside the ring. There was tons of trash talking. I was on point with that too. And I kept things like I'm living my best life. I'm living the dream. So like I'm just capitalizing on every single moment of that fight. And like in that night, you saw the best Blair the Flair.
Where do you train and work, and where are you from?
Well, I'm training out here in Las Vegas. Good. I train with Justin Gamber, and like I have great strength conditioning trainers and things like that, and then people to help push me along the way. I'm originally from Philadelphia, but I lived in a lot of different places, and right now I live in Las Vegas.
I worked in Philadelphia. I'm Ferrall, so Philadelphia. I lived there. I used to do Eagles pre and post game on YSB. Remember that station in Philly?
Okay, that was you.
I live in New York City now. I've been there like 25 years, but I'm East Coast. I'm right there. I go there a lot for. I'm a Steeler fan. I'm from Pittsburgh, but I go to Eagles games undercover because I did the broadcasts. And as a Steeler fan, I don't want to be letting anybody know I'm there because they might knock my teeth out. But I like going to Philly to watch Bryce Harper. I like watching him hit home runs.
Nice.
And I like going to the Link because I think those fans are crazy. I saw a chick once stripping in the parking lot on a stripper pole at the at the Link before an Eagles game. I'm like, they got a chick on a stripper pole and some guy's cooking brisket in the parking lot. I go, I like this place. I got to hang out here a little bit more.
They don't do it crazier than Philadelphia. Nobody does it as crazy as Philly. You got to stay tuned to the shenanigans every time you go to Philadelphia.
Good luck with your career. I'll see you down the road. Hope you just keep rocking. Nice job against Broner. Who needs the touch of gray now? Who needs that just for men now? He needs to get his teeth fixed. Get that hair cleaned up. About billions no more with Blair the Flair Card.